Bible truth, line by line, in context, 5-minute lessons. Let's go. Welcome to Bible Bites. All right, guys, what's going on? So we left off last time with Romans 5:15 through 20. And what I did was I smushed all those verses together, right? Because it made it easier to look at the effect that Adam's sin had on the world, Adam's offense it had on the world versus Christ and his free gifts effect on the world. Okay, so I wanted to compare a little easier. So we summarized what the effect of the offense was in the last video. And now we're going to talk about Christ's free gift and that effect on the world. Let's go. And by the way, guys, the birds are chirping. It's a beautiful day. I just want to talk about God. So let's get to it. All right, let's go. The law. All right, had to catch myself. All right, the law entered the world and sin and death abounded. It overflowed. It flooded the world, right? But the grace of God and the free gift of God, which comes by that grace, it abounded seemingly in response, okay? And not only did it abound, but it abounded much more. Now, much more than what? Let's stay in context. Look at the text. Sin and death's power. That's what it was much more than the power of sin and death in the world, which meant God was now willing and able to judge men as uncondemned, not guilty for their offenses. Why? Because the free gift was and is able to bring justification, right? That not guilty judgment to us, the offenders. Because the gift is offering and receiving true righteousness. Because like Adam, one man was obedient to God in his law. And one man was obedient because he was righteous. And so now many can be made righteous by his righteousness. Isn't that cool? But I want you to notice something. Look at this. No one was able to follow the law. We know that, right? Because the law does not produce righteousness. It exposes unrighteousness. So look at this. To be obedient, a person must already be righteous. Meaning Christ didn't learn righteousness or receive righteousness. He simply is righteousness. Again, confirming our discovery way back in lesson 26. Go check it out. All right. So now the grace of God can reign through righteousness. Don't that make sense? If righteousness is a person, again, go look at lesson 26. It's awesome. Remember, Romans 1:16 and 17 says the righteousness of God is revealed from faith to faith by the gospel and its power to save Jew and Gentile. So the grace of God will reign through God, Christ's gospel, which is the power of God combined with his will and desire to save. Chapter 6. All right, check it out. Romans 6:1. Paul asks a logical question right here. He says, should we keep sinning so God's grace gets even larger, more abundant, right? Remember, he's anticipating. This is a letter. So he's anticipating the responses from people who are now being confronted with these new truths that Paul is giving to them. Remember, Paul, way back in Romans 1, was there to establish, make stronger their faith. So he's giving them information that they did not know before. So he's asking in anticipation, should we keep sinning so God's grace gets even larger or more abundant? Now, remember, Romans 5:15 through 20 says, where sin and offense, death abounds, grace will much more abound. Basically, doesn't that make it sound like sinning is a good thing or the mechanism that triggers God's grace? But look at Romans 6:2. Paul emphatically says, no. Y'all are missing it. You do not understand. And Paul's response makes sense. Check it out. If someone is dead to the effects of sin, how can they live in sin? Look at that text, right? But what does effects mean? What are the effects that sin has? Well, let's look. Remember, Romans 5:1 says sin entered the world and death by sin. Romans 5:2, death reigned. Romans 5:16 says the judgment for sin is condemnation. Romans 3:21, all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. 3:10, none righteous. 2:5 through 10, wrath, tribulation, indignation. So sinning produces all of that stuff. What it doesn't produce is the grace of God. The grace of God is not a response to sin and death. God's grace is the ever-present alternative to sin's reign. It is the standard by which we're supposed to go by. I love the word. It's like peace to me. It's like jumping in a relaxing pool, man. I love this. Yeah, we're going to stop here. Just think about it. Chew on that a little bit. That was a little chicken nugget meal, but I love that. I love these little reassurances that when you're going through the context, right? It's in the bumper lane of context. It just feels right. You know it's true. And that's the beauty of God's truth. You know it when you hear it. I love you guys. This is Bible Bites. I'm out.